okay, there's likely vampires in there, so I'm standing out here. Luckily, we got Riley. He's going to bring the steaks, and I'm in salad, and I saw Day Shift. It is directed by J.J. Perry. This movie came out in 2022. It has Jamie Foxx, and I was like excited because Jamie Foxx is in it, and I like Jamie Foxx. This movie starts following a guy named Bud. He's a pool cleaner, but actually he's a vampire hunter. And I was like, okay, he's cleaning pools. And then we get to the scene where he's killing these two vampires, like an elderly woman and like a guy. And he's very messy. When I was watching him kill these vampires, I was like, man, he's not really good at this. And then when it comes to, you got the little string trick that pops up throughout the rest of the movie. The first appearance, it's like in a doorway, and the guy just like comes running and his head cleanly slices off. I'm like, okay, that's cool. This is very exciting. All right, I'm very excited for this. I gotta mention that the violence is very grotesque, but it's also not really realistic because you got the bodies of all the vampires just contorting, and they got the ragdoll physics, and it's really funny. And I'm like, I'm really enjoying the action scenes, and then we get to the plot where Bud is losing his wife and daughter, and I was a little confused because I don't know if they're being divorced or not. They don't explicitly say that they're being divorced. She's moving to Florida, and she's going to enroll her daughter into private school, and of course, because Bud really loves the daughter, even shows him picking up the daughter late from school, but also taking her to Yogurtland, totally disregarding the wife requesting them to be there earlier, which is, I guess, is the reason why she's divorcing him, if that is the case. And of course, enrolling her into private school costs a lot of money. Bud has to make a lot of money. He has to make like 10 grand over the weekend. I was confused by the time scaling because I think this takes place on a Wednesday and he has until next Monday or something. I was confused about the time scaling, but he did mention a lot like, oh, we don't have enough time. I have to take these fangs from the vampires that I just killed, take them to a vampire teeth buyer who's like, oh, this is only going to cost this much. And honestly, if I were him, I would have just taken it. Because it's like, all right, cool. Looks like I'm going to have to kill more vampires, which is dangerous. And seeming that he's in the California area, I guess it's South California, I guess. He has no trouble with the amount of vampires there. I hear there's a lot of vampires. Especially within the movie. They even say there's a lot of vampires in that area. And so he's like, okay, I need to go to the union. Apparently there's this vampire hunter union that he violated a lot of codes because there's specific codes to killing vampires. Honestly, I don't see the point of there being codes to killing vampires unless it's to prevent collateral damage that will impact humans. And he has done that a lot. He's definitely damaged a lot of places trying to kill vampires. He's definitely not done it, like, humanely. But how are you going to be humane about a vampire? The vampire's going to eat you. Do you want them to stay around so you can do things by the book? I agree with him on that point. And so, as part of his plea, because he has to have Big John advocate for him, which is Snoop Dogg, and I like him. He's just like sitting there smoking, and he has a couple of liners that are super fun, and he advocates for him to join back into the union. I'm like, okay, cool, at least you're getting one last chance. And he has to be given a union rep. His name is Seth. He knows things a lot by the book, but he's very inexperienced when it comes to field work. And so we get Seth detailing all the violations of Bud. And of course, Bud has a lot of violations, including we got situations such as Bud, he follows this vampire car into an abandoned bowling area. It's fun because he breaks into the place. He is dealing with two vampires, and you got Seth is like staying in the car because he's annoying. Honestly, I honestly has to be like the truth. Even though Bud's like, oh, I work alone, it's Seth is annoying. He's going to tell him about his violations. And would I want somebody there if they were going to tell me all of my violations, what I was doing wrong, to be behind my back? No, I'd rather just do the job and then deal with the consequences later. And of course, Seth goes inside, is really bad about giving him his shotgun to kill a vampire. And honestly, I thought lead doesn't really work, but I do appreciate that it does show Bud creating these shotgun shells that have like wood and some sort of silver casing or something. It's pretty cool. I like how it's gone into depth in this region. Seth is like, you violated so many rules. Let's go to this pawn shop. Bud delivers a really heartfelt story about how he's going to lose his family if he doesn't make 10 grand this weekend. Seth has a heart. Luckily, he's like, all right, cool. I won't report to you. Even though my boss really doesn't want you in this union, I won't report you. There's this vampire that is actually hunting Bud because Bud killed a vampire that this vampire is really interested in, got really mad at him, and now is killing the pawn shop, spelling out Bud's name with teeth, which is gruesome. And there's just like a whole lot of, oh, Bud's being chased. Oh, there's someone that Bud really likes that is his next door neighbor at this hotel apartment place with a really cool pool. And there's a lot of cool shots of Jamie Foxx walking alongside this pool, which I like. It's cool. Luckily, Bud actually befriends the next door neighbor who happens to be a vampire and tells the vampire that is hunting Bud. Her name is Audrey, by the way. She's a real estate agent, and the most brutal thing that she does is she takes vampires and pours concrete over them on housing development that she owns, and is really brutal. She's a vampire herself, and she's really cool. I like her a lot, but she goes way too far when she kidnaps the wife and daughter of Bud. And Bud has to lie about his employment until they get kidnapped. He's like, I hunt vampires. She's like, ha 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 ha, funny ha ha joke, and then fangs, and then bam, she immediately knows, oh, vampires exist. They get taken away, and there's this house that Bud and Seth go to, and also these two competitive brothers are also at, and they together kill an entire hive of vampires. And I'm like, whoa, this is the cool shot. We got a bunch of just bam, 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 kick, punch, all that stuff is happening. It's just a lot of killing of vampires. And honestly, when it comes to the fight scenes are super fun. I like them. I want to see more fight scenes. But then we get to the plot, which is, oh no, the wife and the daughter are being taken to a place, and Bud has to kill the vampire. And she's an uber vampire. She also turns Seth into a vampire who cannot be decapitated. But she also cannot just simply decapitate it. She has to have a stake through her, and then bam, decapitation. And then she dies. And Seth is a vampire. I also forgot to mention that Big John is also there when going down into the caves in order to rescue the wife and the daughter. Big John gets a big old thing of flesh cut by a vampire. Just kind of rips his throat. And of course, he's like, I'm gonna sacrifice myself. He is like this. I don't know what it is. It's like a bomb for vampires, I guess. And there's just like a bunch of vampires about to come to him, and then he like explodes. You know, big explosion. And then I only mention this because when Bud and the wife and kid are leaving, Bud goes fast, right? And then Big John appears out of the sewers. I'm like, how did you stay alive? How are you not burning up? Because you might be a vampire already. And if you're not a vampire, how did you survive that big explosion? I don't know. It was weird. A lot of the plot, I was like, okay, cool, I like this, and then sometimes it's like, okay, well, I wish this was executed a little better, but you know, I still enjoyed it. It was an enjoyable movie. And a lot of the cinematography is really fun. I liked that a lot. There's a lot of following the characters, and the fight scenes were really fun, very fun. And I gotta give this movie a solid 5.5 out of 10. Oh, before I forget though, there's a scene where we got Seth and Bud are going to take care of these vampires during the night. And he says, "Welcome to the mother effin' night shift." And I'm like, that's the opposite of the title of the movie. What? That's why I gave it a 5.5, because it didn't even say welcome to the day shift. It's just, welcome to the night shift. If you want to see more videos, I have $3 a month for some daily vlogs on my patreon.com/ASEPresents. For $3 a month, you get some daily vlogs. Yet again, did I ever mention that I do $3 a month daily vlogs on patreon.com/ASEPresents? But more importantly, $20 a month gets you one movie review request for 1 month, which will appear on this channel. So go check out patreon.com/ASEPresents. If you want to check out some NSFW adult content, go to this link tree. You'll enjoy it. And you'll be very satisfied. Linktree here. Until next time, I'm in salad sauce. See you later, my salad croutons and bacon bits.